Hello, how are you? I hope you're having an okay day, wherever you are and whatever it is you're up to. Um, Thank you for watching. I wanted to just take a minute this evening to kind of digest everything that we've been talking about today regarding the NWSL abuse report. Sally Yates was doing her investigation into the NWSL over the abuse claims that they had come to light in 2021. It was September. I remember when The Athletic had published that piece, when the whistleblowers, who Sinead Farrelly and Manashim, had come out and spoken about abuse at the hands of their coach Paul Riley when they were at Portland Thorns going back about a decade ago. So that's when this had kind of first come to light, and there were many kind of harrowing details at the time when the whistleblowers Sinead and Mana had spoken out. And since then, since this case and this investigation, the reports that we've been reading and the findings that we've seen from this independent investigation are so grim. So grim and so sad that this is happening and probably is still happening. What they found is that widespread evidence of emotional abuse and sexual misconduct within the women's game in America, dating back for so many years, and like we say, still affecting people to this day as well, and affecting women in the game. So an unspecified number of women have spoken out to Sally Yates in her investigation, and they found that what shocking thing is that so many people knew about coaches who were abusing their power, abusing their position, and sexually harassing their players for such a long time, and everything going under the radar and being covered up. Now this has happened before in so many different sectors. The Me Too movement is something that you would, in so many workplaces, this is me speaking really personal, you saw a change. You saw people coming out and standing for it no more. And now what we're seeing that is happening in women's football today, I just cannot believe it. I can't. And I just find it so shocking and so sad. Sinead Farrelly and Manashim were the whistleblowers, of course, when the case happened. They said it was harassment and sexual misconduct going back a decade, involving Paul Riley, who was their manager at Portland Thorns. When his contract expired, the club didn't re-sign him when his contract was up, but instead he went to New York Flash and then went on to Courage the following season as well. So after everything that had happened with him involving those players and the reports that went against him, he was given other jobs in other teams in the league. It's believed that so many people at the top, from general managers to club owners to other staff members, knew exactly what was going on. Also, the report finds focusing heavily on 3 coaches, so it wasn't just Paul Riley, Christy Hawley as well, and former Chicago Red Stars coach Rory Dames. And the report sheds light on all of these cases. The amount of women that have come out as well. It's an unspecified number, but we've heard in detail what some of these women went through. The one that really made me feel so sick, well, it all makes me feel sick, was a player who was going back to her coach's house for one-to-one analysis, and he ended up putting on pornographic video, and that she had to kind of sit and endure that. It's awful, and you can read the review in full. I think I've done it so many times today in terms of going through it all today that it's just like, it's still so shocking. Alex Morgan's been speaking out as well about when Manashim had come to her and, said we need to get him out of the game, he cannot be here, in reference to Paul Riley as manager. And even the review at that time was a 15-20 minute conversation, and she answered a few questions, and she said it was so vague and so not in detail that, you know, she couldn't even believe that that was the investigation. But yeah, I guess what's awful here is that these girls, these women, have gone to football that they're so good at, a place that they deserve to be at, a place that you're meant to feel safe, you know, your coach, your teacher, that person who is guiding you, and they're totally abusing that power and that trust as well, to have that power over playing somebody in a team, you know, or to basically choosing how their career is going to go, and using that. We see it all the time, but using that to get them involved in things that they shouldn't be involved in, or to say that they have to be doing it to earn their place in their team. You know, this story from Mana and Sinead said that Paul Riley took them drinking and pressured them into sex. So many women have been affected by this, and Erin Simon, who played at West Ham, who we've seen in the WSL for a long time. You know, I spoke to one of her teammates, our old teammates today, who broke down in tears. You know, just couldn't believe that somebody she'd been so close with and spent so much time with had endured that, you know, at the hands of a coach. You know, that innocent person, you know, that vulnerable person had to go through that, and then has to live with it as well. What that would do to their mental health, what that would do to their everything, to the world. I can only imagine that pain when somebody does that to you. And at the moment, the focus, I believe, is so, you know, on the US national team coming here. They've got England at Wembley on Friday, but I think more light has to be shed on this investigation and on the fact that it can still be happening anywhere as well, and it may well still be going on. I know of an experience through somebody very close to me, and it's something that she'll never share, or she'll never want to talk about, and probably never will, because that's not the way she wants to do things. But I also think you should never ever have to hide that or bottle that up, or feel that you're the one who was in the wrong there, or feel that maybe it's like a secret that you should keep. Somebody is doing something so wrong, you will know about it. If there's any doubt in those situations, there's no doubt. And the fact that these women for so long had to bottle that up, and the people that they went to for support at the top turned them away and covered it up and made sure that those in the wrong got jobs elsewhere, it's sickening. It's so sickening. It's like, how on earth can this kind of thing still be going on? I'm glad that this investigation is out there. It's thorough, it's detailed, it's sickening, it's hundreds and hundreds of pages long, and it certainly has a lot of people just wondering how this has gone on for such a long time. And where does the NWSL go after this? Things kind of came to a halt and came to a real head in September last year. But what's next after these findings? You know, thereafter, you know, there's going to be plenty more that probably come out about this as well and share their experiences, and then they should do that. The fact that this has been covered up is just awful, and the fact that the people at the top and everybody knew is sick. I find it so sick, and I wanted to come on and talk about that tonight because I feel that there's just so many other people with so many other experiences who will never say anything, and that's absolutely their choice. But it really makes me hurt for them. People should be held accountable. And yeah, the obviously the game, England against the USA here on Friday. I think I'm going to the game. I think there's going to be so much respect shown to all of those players who have spoken and represented and spoken out on behalf of their friends and their colleagues who have gone through anything like that. They will be very much so listened to and respected. But yeah, the ignoring reports of inappropriate conduct by coaches in football so recently, I cannot believe it. It's not going to go away. We're going to keep talking about it and shine a light on it. And I hope that we can help make it a better place. I don't know how we do that, but listening and taking people seriously, and making sure that you root out all the rot will be major to this as well. It feels like a sad thing to talk about, and I feel that there's been tears shed today. I certainly got upset about it a little bit earlier on, speaking to a friend who was so upset by what she read. That yeah, I think we're going to hear so much more about it over here. I hope you have a good night, and let me know your comments.